Hey everybody, we got a few matches today on World of Tanks. I'm your host TedTokez. We're gonna get right into it here. This first match, we're kind of heading down south here. We're gonna go straight down this way, try and scout for our team. We're in our armadillo, so it's primarily a scouting job today. Now, as you can notice from the map in the bottom right corner, the entire team that spawned at the base, not one of them are going to go protect the north field of the map. They're all going down here to the south. And what I would only assume would be like probably the 8 line, if I'm lucky, but probably the 9 line is where they'll sit to get their free points all game. Now, as you can notice, that one medium that was starting to go north after the base spawn, he repositioned himself going south now because he realizes it's a suicide mission to try and watch the north. After 8 teammates bailed on him, there was no reason for that medium to try to protect the base. We already lost the base because of the 8 other teammates that decided to do what he's doing, but they did it before him, which in turn made him have to not even be able to protect the base now. And if you notice, that medium actually went to the battle still. That medium wasn't like one of the 6 or more other tanks that decided to hide in the 9 line, or worse. Now here I am kind of just, traversing the map, trying to create enough disruption to relieve some of the pressure that my team will encounter, and then allowing my team to have an easier time pressuring the enemies that they do end up encountering now. Now, I want to make a note of this, okay, verbally. Look at the teammates that are hiding in the 8-0 lines, alright? Because they left the spawn point where they spawned at and went down there to a position that even the people that went that way had already passed up by the point they got there, by the time they got there, they've given up their base. Now imagine if they didn't. Imagine if they actually played the game properly, went up there, held that northern flank. Do you think they would have free shots on all these tanks out here that I'm just driving around? Or was driving around, for that matter, on my own, by the way, because you can notice the guys that went west on the southern part of the map, they didn't go north once they actually went west and then beat that one tank that was over there. They sat there, right? And then they sat there looking for free overwatch points on the tanks that I was driving around, instead of bridging the gap and creating even more opportunity for themselves than they would have had by doing what they're doing. Or do you think they actually even have a shot at anything over there where they're sitting now and have been for the whole game so far? Or even as long as they were alive. Anyways, yet again proving that they're not there to work as a team. They are likely just there to benefit themselves because of a team. Now look at that. I'm pretty much in the middle third of the rewards board, okay? You got your top third, your bottom third, and then your middle third, right? I'm in the middle. Yeah, it's the bottom of the middle, but I'm in the middle with 0 damage. I shot not one bullet that game, and I'm in the middle. Let that sink in, people. And that's just my way of proving that the damage isn't what proves that you're a team player. Because I've said it many a times, the worst player on the team could actively get 70% of the enemy's health if 14 other tanks are helping it do so. Now here I am, next match. We made our way to the front lines. I do a quick little rotation because I don't want to run straight down this little valley.
Bruh, can you just shut the fuck up?
Or 3 line, because
for the love of God, like, you were literally just out here talking to yourself. If you would like to talk about the game, that'd be super dope. But otherwise, I don't understand what we're doing
The
here.
team's not really going to help me survive, so I would just be kind of running into a
Okay,
cul-de-sac
and
of
now
chaos.
we
Now, I honestly don't
finally
remember what I was
fucking
talking about
Jesus fucking
whether it was
Christ.
bitching or not when he said this, but regardless, I'm glad he muted me
What's it
because
like
I
to
don't
think you're
need to talk to
important?
him. And then he makes the comment, I think he thought he was muted and I couldn't hear him, so he was just kind of like, sucking the team off type stuff. But here's the thing. I don't know what it would feel like to not feel like I'm important. So, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know how it would feel to be either, and that's why he's asking me. I don't know. I don't really care. My priority is helping the team, not worrying about what I can mute or not mute. Because guess what? Any player can mute any other player that they don't want to hear. Guess what any player cannot do about any other player? We can't play your game for you, buddy. So when you're fucking off our team and then acting like the problem is what you have to listen to, well, guess what? Sir, no offense, but you sound like more of an idiot than the guy regularly makes himself sound like an idiot for you to feel better about yourself. And I don't say that to be mean. Maybe you just wanted my attention, and you know what? You got it, dude, because the reality of it is not a lot of you talk to me. Most of you only open your mouth to ridicule me or mock me or do things like that. Maybe you were good-spirited and had good intent with what you were saying, and you just have poor delivery like I do most of the time. But either way, it doesn't matter. You feel how you feel. I'm going to say what I want to say. I don't care how you feel about it, dude. And who knows? Maybe he's one of the players that have been around for years, whether that's his only account or a new one or whatever the case. He may be he probably already knows, because for a long time I was actively trying to teach these people how to play. I was not being mean. I played by myself for years, and then I started playing with people when building clans became more popular. I started playing with other people, right? And then there was the high school drama, and I went back to playing by myself, and the game changed during that period where I was playing with other people. People realized how good I was even while not trying or even being that good yet, and that's why they would feel the way that they feel about me, and not because I'm saying what I'm saying, but because they know that what I'm saying usually pertained to them and how their playstyle was. For example, how often I could do half of what I could have achieved and still matter just as much as them without getting my points for free also. Because I hate to point it out because it seems mean and selective, but I'm not really targeting him, okay? This guy, if you go back and watch that match, after he ran his mouth to me, what was his very next move? He sat behind every single teammate that reached him and chose to keep progressing. He sat back and looked for free points and still one place above me. How incredible do they think that they are? And how absurd it is that they would want to belittle me. Now, looky here. We have another classic example of what every community World of Tank player does to themselves. Look at this little sheep group. They're legitimate. Somebody get the shepherd stick, please. Now, I do appreciate the Overwatch because obviously somebody helped me. I don't know who it was that time. I'd have to study the trajectory of the projectiles. But somebody did help me with that. So, I guess they are supportive in some way. Now, I want all of the viewers to ask themselves this, okay? Because I didn't get the POV scan of all the different POVs of the players back there because when I died, I was probably editing on the side, so I just put the controller down and then went back to multitasking on whatever other things I was doing. But I want you to ask yourselves, now, Now, I'm not trying to take away from their achievement because they did achieve the win. However, do you think that team of 8 to 10 tanks over on that hill, do you think they earned themselves the win? Or do you think these other players earned the win for them because they got to overwatch and get free points? And luckily the enemies had pushed up the northern B line and tried to, kind of take our base position and stuff, or else they would have been able to sit there and just sit there and sit there and sit there, leaving this smaller unit of tanks, which is like what, half of the size, to go fight this entire team that would have sat in the 9 line right where they're sitting, and up there at that river intersection where they would have sat otherwise if they weren't sitting where these guys are currently sitting in the 9. You tell me how hard that would have been for these players playing the game for them. You tell me they would have had a chance at winning when they lost the players playing the game for them, and they actually had to play the game for themselves. And right here is how easily provable that is, because if you notice, in the west, that hill that they've been sitting at, that's 6 tanks, right? Currently just 6 tanks, right? So, if you count that light tank that's, kind of retreating back towards the easier fight rather than going to help the team that's playing the game. Because here's the thing. Now this team over here in the southeast corner, they took out this entire unit of enemies, probably 2/3 of the enemies on their own, and yet we had less than half of the team. The only reason there's more than 6 emblems there right now is because some of the tanks realized that they were completely useless up on that hill, and they decided to come join us. Now, imagine if they actually helped and didn't try to get free Overwatch points. Okay? Yeah, maybe I wouldn't have made it out of that rotation no matter what where I died. Maybe that was just where I was going to die. Okay? But now, imagine if they actually played the game, though. Even together, maybe. And as you can see, it was real hard for them 6 teammates to beat 4 enemies up there. And now they're even almost able to go help the other teammates that they should have been helping the whole time, instead of worrying about how they could help themselves. And there you have it, folks. Another match where they'll spend a measurable amount of time finishing up a match that was already over and could have been achieved much more effectively than they did. And this next comment is not a shot at their performance specifically. However, notice how the 3 lower rankings below me scored more damage than me, lived longer than me, but mattered to the team less than me. Why? Because those platooned up players were not actually there to play as a team. They were there to, pretend that they were even part of the team, really, I guess. And I'm not saying I was more important as in I was more important or they were less important, but because they did help, right? They helped themselves, and by default, that helps the team. However, a lot of the team would have did better than they did if those players actually played the game instead of playing how they wanted to play. And honestly, every match, as common and as cookie cutter as they are very different every time. And it maybe was not even their intent to fuck off the team like they did. Maybe they were just trying to do good, and it just so happened that they positioned themselves the way that they did to do as good as they wanted to think that they could do. And I say they're different every time because a 1v4 could still be a 1v4, but it could be different tanks in different positions, playing with different tactics, a different level of skill for each player. That's the difference, even if it's the very same situation. If you guys enjoyed it, maybe give me a thumbs up. Let me know you enjoy watching these. Let me know how I could make them better for you guys because I want you guys to enjoy these. Anyways, love you. Take care, everybody.